Hello and welcome to Percontation Point's video Snark. I read bad books so that you don't have to. I'm continuing my read-through of A Touch of Darkness by Scarlet St. Clair. Not the first video, go check out the others. Links are posted below. Chapter 17. Persephone was so worked up following the incident with Hades that she couldn't sleep at all. She has to go shopping with Lex in the morning, so she decides to take care of this so that she can get some sleep. As she does this, she thinks about Hades. And then he shows up, as if she was thinking about him as she does this. She agrees and comes apart against her fingers. When she opens her eyes again, she's alone in her room, and for a moment she wonders if she hadn't hallucinated the entire thing. But then she realizes that her room smells like him, and a hallucination can't carry an odor. Hades wasn't the type of god who wanted a relationship, and she already knew he didn't believe in love, and Persephone wanted love. I'm sorry, but she's basing all of this info off of what exactly? Because despite her insistence, Persephone still knows jack all about Hades. Lex and Persephone get ready to go to the party. Persephone asks her friend about some guy she met at Aphrodite's club. Except, wasn't she also drugged by Adonis? Or was she not drugged at all? The narration has no shirts to give about Lex, so it's honestly kind of hard for me, the reader, to care as well. As they continue to get ready, Persephone gets a box delivered to the door. There's a golden mask, along with a note telling Persephone to wear it along with her crown. She feels silly as she puts on both accessories, but does so anyway. The girls then go to the event where they were instructed to arrive an hour before the gods. After all, why would you want to see John Smith when you could see Angelina Jolie? Nobody cares about the riffraff. They mingle for a little bit before Lex drags Persephone outside so that they can watch the gods basically walk the red carpet. Ares, Poseidon, Hermes, and Apollo show up, and way too much time is spent describing these characters. Demeter shows up. Some time is spent describing what she's wearing, to the point where Lexa literally has to point out to Persephone that Demeter looks upset. Persephone is honestly more concerned with her mother's dress and the frown on her face. However, once this is pointed out to her, Persephone feels weirdly guilty that the frown is all her fault. After that, Aphrodite makes an appearance with Adonis on her arm, much to Lex's and Persephone's chagrin. Then Zeus and Hera show up, and that's it. Hades hadn't shown up for the red carpet walk, much to Persephone's disappointment. However, as they return inside, Persephone instantly spots Hades, but on her arm is Minthy, and Persephone is super angry, despite the fact that she's made it really clear that she wants something to do with Hades. She doesn't want him, but she doesn't want him to be with anybody else. Got it. Lexa excuses herself to the bathroom. Hermes comes over then and comments upon how it's obvious Persephone clearly picked a dress to impress Hades. He goes on to say how the two of them were practically undressing each other in front of everybody, and how everybody noticed. Persephone brings up Minthy, but Hermes laughs it off, says that if Hades actually cared for Minthy, he would have married her a long time ago. That does not sound like Hades. He doesn't believe in love. Well, who am I to say? I've only known Hades for centuries, and you, a few months. As I was saying, Hermes then kisses Persephone on the cheek and asks that she save a dance for him. Lexa comes back just then and asks how she knows Hermes. Persephone lies and says it never night, and that she's been too busy recently and forgot to tell her friend. They sit down to eat. After the meal, Minthy comes up and announces that year's charity project about helping people to not die by drug overdoses. Persephone feels like Hades is making fun of her. Hades then comes up onto the stage and talks some about the article Persephone had written about him, that it had inspired him to do better, so he created his charity. Persephone tells Lexa that he's doing all of this for his own reputation, but Lexa is just like, sure, Jan. Everybody gets up to look at the exhibit. Persephone spends a lot of time looking at it, and when she's done, everybody is already dancing. Sybil comes over to her and tells Persephone that her colors are all mixed up with Hades's, but goes on to say that this means their fates are tangled. Persephone freaks out over that and leaves for the bathroom. In there, Aphrodite finds her and talks about the incident with Hades and Persephone eyeing each other earlier. Persephone tries to leave since the other goddess makes her hella uncomfortable, but Aphrodite keeps stopping her. Eventually, Persephone says that she doesn't want to talk with her and just leaves. Persephone thinks about just going home, but then Hades comes over because this chapter doesn't know how to end. Hades asks her to dance, and all eyes are on them as they go to the dance floor. Persephone asks that he should be dancing with Minthy. He is quick to dismiss the idea and says that Minthy is his assistant, but Persephone scoffs and says that nobody else showed up with their assistant on their arm. Persephone asks if Hades has slept with Minthy, but Hades takes this as an invitation to play games, so he whisks her away to the underworld. Chapter 18. They return to Hades' office where Persephone thinks about how the last time they were there they played rock, paper, scissors. He picks up a deck of cards and proposes that they play poker. Never mentioned is how Persephone still hasn't learned how to play, but sure. He says that if Persephone wins a hand, then he'll answer questions, but for every hand that he wins, then Persephone loses a piece of clothing. However, he makes a crude remark about doing adult stuff to Persephone while she only wears the crown, but Persephone is quick to say that adult stuff is off the table. Hades wins the first round and takes off Persephone's necklace. He kisses her neck as he does this and promises that he could help her out there, but she refuses. Persephone wins the second round and repeats her earlier question about if he'd slept with Minthy. He says once, a long time ago. Persephone feels jealous over the entire thing. The third round goes to Hades, who takes off her earrings and nibbles on her earlobes as she does so. Then back to Persephone again, who asks if he'd ever use his invisibility to spy on her, but he says no. She asks that he promised not to do that, and he agrees. When she wins again, she asks why it is that he lets people say such lies about him. He says that words are just stupid things twisted to suit people's needs. And I get that, the entire thing of not letting the lies get to you, but I also understand where Persephone comes from, that Hades could do something about it, and he's not, and it's weirder than anything, honestly. Hades then starts to fondle her chest before he gets her off with his mouth. He stands and pulls Persephone to her feet. She asks why they can't teleport to his bedroom, but he says he wants all of the people who work there to know that they aren't to be disturbed. They go, and Hades asks if she's sure. She agrees. However, before they continue, she asks that he drop his glamour, and he does, revealing his horns. She then gets him off with her mouth, but he stops her before he finishes. He then makes her say that she wants this, wants him, and they start. There are like 3 paragraphs in a row with single sentence, single words that just say thrust. In case you needed a reminder that this is just terrible, miserable writing. After they finish, Hades cleans her up a little and they fall asleep. She wakes up to Hades moving against her and they go at it again. As Persephone drifts off a second time, she thinks that this is exactly what she wants. And then that's the entire chapter. Zero plot movement, only just the inevitable banging that we all knew was coming, and Persephone proving that she has about as much backbone as a jellyfish. Thanks for listening to my book Snark on YouTube. New videos are up every Monday, but stick around because I sometimes drop random videos on other days too. Just as a reminder, even if you can't financially support me, there are other ways to support me. The first is watching this video as well as all my other videos. It's also important to like and subscribe. Finally, you can share this video with all of your friends so that they can help as well. If you're already caught up with all of my videos, you can go to Tumblr for my main book Snarks, always free and updated every morning. And if you've already read all of my main Snarks, you can find even more Snark on my Patreon. You can access it for $1 a month. Plus, you also get early access to my main Tumblr Snark. Special thanks to Dawn, Phoebe, and Nikki for supporting me on Patreon already. If you want to hear your name in my video next week, either support me on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Do you like my Snark so much that you want me to snark your writing? I do that too. For just $3 per chapter, I will tell you how awful that your writing is. But not to worry if you feel like you couldn't take the criticism. I also offer regular book editing as well. $3 for every 5,000 words. You can contact me on any of my social media platforms if you have further questions. If you want to read some of the things that I've written, you can purchase my works on Amazon. I have a slew of erotic short stories and now 2 full-length novels. I also sometimes run flash sales on my stories, and if you don't follow me on any social media, you might want to do so just so you can know when I might be offering more things for free. Links for everything will be posted below. See you next week, guys.